Hello YouTube, I'm back with the next Battlebots toy review, and today I have the Pro Series BioHazard toy, and unfortunately, because of the time it's been spending in my garage for about 10 years, the battery doesn't work, the remote, oddly the one on the remote does, so I can't show how it works, but you can take my word for it, because I have it right here. This was definitely, these were a lot like the Custom Series, which I reviewed El Diablo and Minion earlier, but these were bigger, they didn't really have any parts that fell off. You've got 3 lights on top, so they're a little more heavy duty, so you actually have to hit them multiple times to get them to work. BioHazard came with 2 plows. I don't have either one right now. There's one that was the one you typically expect BioHazard to have that was flat, and there was one that was a little more jagged. It had all these extra little spikes on top, I guess to make it easier to get on grab a hold and kind of keep them that way. Unfortunately, Dissector was the only other toy to get released. They did have a couple others that were in prototype stage. BattleBots Season 3.0 was on its 10th episode. You can see that for sure. There's some on the BattleBots Wikipedia page if you really want to have a look. There's Tazbot, Complete Control, and oddly enough, Complete Control, the Pro Series Complete Control, had 6 wheels. And I say it's Pro Series because you can see the Dissector Pro Series clearly being lifted by it. And, as it would turn out, if you look underneath, pardon all the stuff that's underneath, see, this is 6-wheel drive. So obviously, this was more than likely what would have been the Complete Control toy. For whatever reason, they didn't make it. It was fully functioning as far as we can tell. It wasn't painted or anything. You probably can't see it too well here, but there are 6 wheels here that control it. Yeah, it gives it a little bit better, All those little notches in the middle here. Yeah, there's a wheel on each side. There's a battery in the middle. That's dead. And there's no way I can get a replacement. No way. Radio Shack no longer exists at this point. But it's not that exciting anyway. Unfortunately, yeah, also the wedge skirts are not on the ground. This is one solid piece here. And as you may have noticed, I've actually written on it. This was back when I was a kid. This is when I had these. These were actually a lot of fun. Problem is, let's see if I can get the arm to lift. You can get an idea of what it might look like. Okay, this will work. I can't show it the arm in action. It's kind of disappointing, actually. But what would happen is, you press the button on one of the buttons on the remote control. You'd hear the motor start up for like 10 seconds, just kind of not doing anything, and then eventually the arm would raise up, twitch, and then go back into place, kind of like that. It's kind of depressing. It means you really have to time it. You'd have to have it ready to go on the spot, which is really difficult because you're going to be probably fighting your opponent as well. So it's really depressing. Didn't really do anything else. I mean, the other attachment. Oh, speaking of other attachments, there was these little guys. There's 2 of them. You probably noticed it on the top. There are 6 holes here. There's a hole here, here. They would attach these guys to it, something like that. And I'm guessing the idea was get them on top and keep them on top, but the problem is that also means they can't. That actually may make it harder for you to get on top for the lifting arm to fire properly. The green button here, I believe, was the reset button, because obviously, like the Custom Series toys, you had to, reset them after they were knocked out. And incidentally, this was the toy I actually fought with the Custom Series El Diablo toy, because I had a little defect in it where it wouldn't actually knock. It would either I wasn't hitting it hard enough, or it had a defect. I think it had a defect in it because it would never blink even after impacts. So with one of the Pro Series toy, I managed to get that to happen. So I feel it was some kind of a defect. But yeah, also the note that regardless of whether you actually had these screwed in or not, they wouldn't stay in anyway. So these skirts are not on the ground. So Dissector, it's probably deliberate to allow the Dissector toy to get underneath and actually lift it up and around. But these were definitely a lot of fun. They went through a lot of detail even without it. And get the logo. They have the name, although it's not on the back. So I kind of wrote it on the back. But I mean, you can tell they went through a lot of detail here. It's too bad these weren't as good as they could have been. They were in the right direction, I think. I'm not sure which version. This might be the Las Vegas 1999 version of BioHazard because of the lack of all sponsors on the side. I actually had to create my own mock versions on the side here. It's right here. So, yeah, right in there. we're a sponsor there. Made a mock sponsor on this side too. So just kind of give it a little more feel. And there's also some on the top. But these were definitely a lot of fun. These were very sturdy. I never damaged them. I mean, they got a lot of fun out of them. Even if, you know, both of us weren't very good drivers of these. These were a little hard to control as well. But they also came with a little tool here. This little tool is supposed to be able to, like, you know, tighten things up and whatnot. You probably saw the little screws on top of the, these. That little, this guy fits into them on this end. Don't think you can do anything with the sides here. I think it's just for, like, grip. So you can actually turn it. But here's the remote control, just in case you wanted to see it. I do have it. It works, but obviously it's going to do no good if the toy doesn't work on its own. It's a lot of detail. I'm actually thankful I was able to get it as much as I could, getting the arm to lift without the motor. So that's cool. You can at least do this much. It's too bad you can't really... You're kind of sunk if you end up getting one of these and it doesn't work. Once it stops working, unless you have an actual working charger, I don't know where mine is, if I still have one. I think at one point I did, because you kind of need them to play, to have continuous play here. But it's kind of cool. I mean, the arm does work without the motor, so at least there's that. Let's fire it again. You can have the arm stay up. Goes right back into place, just like the real BioHazard. So props to them for that. It's too bad we didn't. I would love to add the complete control, and there was a Tazbot one, yeah. These were definitely the Pro Series. Because they were, I mean, the Dissector one, yeah, you could see the Dissector one being picked up. So obviously, this was the Pro Series, and the tires are the same too. So obviously, they had more planned. I would have loved to see them complete control, especially. I mean, how awesome would that have been? I mean, to pick BioHazard up, maybe flipping it over. Either it wasn't practical, or, well, my suspicion, because of complete control's performance in the competition. BioHazard made it to the finals. Complete Control did not. He was beaten pretty quickly on unfortunately, Derek Young's bad driving. Drove up onto the arena ramp against his match with F5, which is a spin bot. The match is on YouTube if you ever want to see it, although as pressing as it is. But yeah, it's unfortunate. This is very... I do like how they went through it, although I could do without these little gaps here on the side. They are kind of awkward. I don't know what they're supposed to do for that. I got the wedge skirts. I mean, they even have like all the mock hinges on the side. That's pretty cool. I don't know when these were released. These might have been around not long after the first edition BioHazard Battle Bashers came out, because the name's on the side. So obviously, whatever happened after this, I think, because I don't think they would have had it on the back anymore. Or this is maybe the way of getting around, you know, the whole copyright, whatever happened there. Because it would be on the back, like all the Battle Bashers had and all that. So, yeah. If you manage to get your hands on one of these, and it's fully functioning and working, give it a shot. It's definitely worthwhile. They're very solidly built. Once you get the hang of the controls, although the Hex 1's Hex Bug coming out in September, those are probably those may be easier to control. I don't know. They're definitely a lot smaller. And they're far more accurate, even from the latest versions of the prototypes. But yeah, definitely give this a shot if you manage to get your hands on one. They're going to be pricey nowadays. They were like $50 each when they first came out. They're probably going to be like a couple hundred now, depending on where you go. But yeah, that's my review on the Battlebots BioHazard Pro Series remote-controlled toy. Thanks for